In order for us to care for our community, we have to pour from a full cup. In our next talk, Lori Hardesty shares her journey back to self-care and the strategy she implemented to get to the other side.
Valentine's Day, 2021. At 5 a.m., I woke up my husband, Rob. I had been up all night, anxiety just pulling at all corners of my mind. In fact, it had been months since I had a restful night of sleep. I told Rob I wanted to quit, just quit it all. Quit working at the Shriver Center after 25 years. I had nothing left to give. My heart hurt and my well was dry. I worried about everybody and everything. I mastered doom scrolling hours at a time. There's nothing good left in the world. I was convinced that the branches that hung heavily over my husband's truck were going to fall. They're going to crush Rob's truck. I became obsessed with our front-loading washing machine. That thing gets dirtier than you'd ever imagine. After a big snowstorm, I took my dog for a walk. Halfway through a slow trudge, I sat down and I just cried. What's wrong with me? Things were falling apart at work too. At the start of the pandemic, I had a deep sense of purpose to support my people. I was proud of the pivot that my team made to create virtual community spaces. And my youngest daughter, Lucille, she was my technology DJ. But the disruption took a toll. I had nothing left to give at student check-in meetings, and in fact, I began to dread them. I started skipping out on team meetings and PSS duties. I had nothing left to give. Remote work relegated me to my makeshift basement workspace. Boy, did I resent the blurred space of work and home life. The fun blinky lights, the new comfy work chair, those were just Band-Aids of pretend. And my daughters, they had a front row seat to my unraveling. When I was their age, I witnessed my father's mental health struggles too. Then I had a moment of clarity. Enough was enough. I had to focus on me. This was not sustainable. With help from my husband and my supervisor, Michelle Wolf, I stepped away from work. At first, a few days, maybe 2 weeks. That wasn't enough. With the help of HR, I officially took a 4-month self-care sabbatical. FMLA is not just for caregiving of newborns or aging parents. It's for us too. I saw my doctor, Dr. Rao, who witnessed the symptoms of my stress and my more than 40-pound weight loss in 3 months. Believe me, that was not the way I wanted to lose weight. Dr. Rao was patient with me, and it was time to prescribe me an anti-anxiety medication. Was I becoming like my dad? He needed medication too. It was clear I needed therapy. My husband's a therapist. Can you imagine? Rob was a huge help in what he could do. He set short-term goals, walked me through different therapeutic styles, and helped me set search filters. That's how I got connected with Laura. We actually never met in person. All of our sessions were virtual. And good thing, so she couldn't smell me. It had been weeks since I had taken a shower. My depression just froze me from doing the most basic things. I learned in sessions with Laura that the coping strategies I used for a challenging childhood growing up just no longer served me. You see, I lost my mother before I was 8 years old. And my dad, he struggled with his mental health, and he did the best he could to support my brother and I until he couldn't. Eventually, Child Protective Services had to remove my brother and I from the home. We had no local family that could help, and a friend's family stepped up. It was the closest sense to belonging that we had. In sessions with Laura, I learned that through my tough childhood growing up, I became a people pleaser. I never wanted to rock the boat for fear of rejection, and I certainly didn't want to go to another home. But I also didn't want people to feel sorry for me. I had to rumble and reckon with my past to begin the healing process. During my time away, my colleagues reached out to me through text messages, phone calls. They even sent a book of poetry. While I wasn't yet in a place to respond, like a sponge, I absorbed all of their compassion. Listen, we remember how people make us feel. As spring sprung, my mood began to bloom along with the hyacinths and tulips. I was starting to come out again. My sessions with Laura were really powerful. I even attended a colleague's virtual baby shower. Summer thunderstorms sometimes cut the power short with Laura, but yeah, again, they were still powerful. I was starting to come out. I was starting to return to life. Thinking back on what helped my return to life be so successful, I lean into three themes. Number one, foster caring relationships. Plan and fiercely protect time with your friend squad. Moms, I see a lot of moms out here. Sorry, I have to do that. Raise your hand if you're a mom. I see a lot of moms. Happy Mother's Day. And moms, you need a night out too. It makes you a better mom. Surround yourself with people who truly want the best for you. It might be your book club, your church community, a sports team. Who are your people? And mentor. When we mentor, we become better versions of ourselves as we help others seek to find meaning in their lives. This past fall, I was an assistant coach and was honored and truly filled my heart to create brave spaces for these girls. I wanted them to know that they mattered regardless of skin color, size, height, sexual orientation. Consider the gifts that your mentors gave you. We all need nudging. Number two, manage expectations. Set boundaries with your time. Take a lunch break, go for a walk, take time off. Listen, the stockpiling vacation time is not a badge of honor to be proud of. Who here has over 400 hours? Oh. And respect your colleagues' time off too. When you're off, you're off. Oh boy. Set up your out-of-office message with a point of contact for someone who can handle things for you. And don't eyeball email. Oh my gosh. You know who you are. Build email reading back into your first day or second, depending how long you're out. And say no. Remember my people-pleasing past? I'm nice and I smile. but please don't take advantage of my helpfulness just because I'm good at it. I'm an arranger who's juggling many moving parts. In my past, I own that my service has been a disservice to others and limited their growth. And if I ask a favor of you, I give you permission to tell me no. And finally, number 3, create meaningful participation. Stop what-ifing and just do things. If there's an adventure you want to go on, do it. Go on that trip, go to that concert, just do it. If you're a self-sabotager like me, keep moving forward and don't fall off the stage. The antidote to imposter syndrome is action. Make sure you include self-care. True Balance Fitness Studio, pedicures, massages. If I won the lottery, I would get a massage every week from Harmony and Wellness. What's your jam? Embrace lifelong learning. Last spring, I took a social leadership and dialogue class with Dr. Lee and Dr. Christian. As a white woman of privilege, I learned frameworks and language that challenge systems of oppression. I also practice strategies that prioritize humanity, and I'm better for it. Create opportunities for others. Stomp with and for those who have been othered. Give them the mic, let them keep it, and then get out of the way. Slow down. I'm really good at that. Slow down. Make space for your own self-care. And reflect on why that matters, not just for you, but for others. We all know that analogy, the oxygen mask on the airplane. First, you have to put on your own oxygen mask before you can help your children. When I was at my lowest, my oxygen mask was nowhere to be found. And I didn't think there'd be another tomorrow for me. No one can find your joy but you. And you have to do the work. And it gets hard. My authentic self is a work in progress every single day. I hope my story inspires you, whether you're going through your own challenges or coming out the other side. Because you matter and you belong here at UMBC. Thank you.